I never thought I'd see the day when I stray from acapella reaction and analysis videos, nor did I ever think I'd see the day when Burnham would make an appearance on my channel, but somebody recommended his album Inside to me, and they directed me to a song that's not actually on the album. It's The Chicken from his Outtakes release. So that's what we're looking at today. This was a recommendation from a good friend of mine, so he is responsible for this, not me. 100%. Let's get into it. And we're live. Here we go. So, D flat minor. So we start major. Keyboard's really loud. Sorry about that. Ooh. Ascending to the minor, the upper minor there. Ooh, that bass there. So we use the minor 6 to walk back up to the major 6. So go. Ooh, that's beautiful. That minor 6 is one of my favorite things ever in music. Also, I'm saying minor 6 to indicate that we are in a major key. That's how my mind is perceiving this. Because we seem to hone in on that E rather than the C sharp. Ooh, there it is again. Very beautiful. Again, in the melody.
The chicken wakes up like she does every.
So the piano intro takes up a while, and it doesn't follow the traditional AABA format. It's more like AAB, B and a half, or C, in terms of the, I guess, the way it would be sung. But I guess we're gonna have to hear that because A means it just repeats the same melody twice. It could be like 2 measures, 4 measures, and then the next set of measures would be the B section, which changes it up a bit, and then usually you'd go back to A, kind of like you hear that. Try to think of an example. Doesn't matter. But yeah. So we're breaking the mold of traditional songwriting a little bit.
Morning to the sounds of her husband's scream, sat in the dark on the eggs she has worn.
Because her husband's a rooster. So he's singing the chicken. Oh, is he a tenor? Maybe. Could be a well-versed baritone. That's not hard for a baritone. He's down here. Yeah, probably a baritone voice.
Scream, sat in the dark on the eggs she is warming. She closes her eyes and dreams of walking to Memphis, becoming a dentist.
If my dentist were chicken, I would quit life. Yeah, he sounds like he'd probably be a baritone voice. He has a unique tone to his voice, a little bit nasal. And he's a comedian, right? Like, that's where I know the name Bo Burnham from. So, yeah. I don't know why I wrote a song called The Chicken. The chicken's regretful about her life.
of walking to Memphis, becoming a dentist, anything but this.
I just completely failed. I played every wrong note before the right one. But things. Pretty big vocal drum there. Anything but things. So the use of that major 6 there kind of teases the minor mode a lot. I'm hearing a lot of that in this song.
I mean, she likes her life as a mother and wife, but is that all she is? She stares out the window.
Okay, well, up to that 4th. I'm trying to play blind here. Stares out the window, something like that. I like the use of the minor 6 in there once again, and it sounds like it could be a compelling idea for a song if it weren't for that dentist line. We'll see what happens.
Stares out the window. The very next.
Also, from a songwriting perspective, that's really creative because that minor 6 is a little bit deflating. You really want it to resolve, and the resolution we get is to the 4, which is not resolute, and then he just hangs on it. It doesn't resolve, period. Leaving the feeling that the chicken's life is not resolute. And I have trouble taking it seriously, but that is a really, really good use of suspension in song.
She stares out the window. The very next morning, the chicken decides to make her escape, get a taste of freedom. She runs out the coop that her life's been confined to, suddenly sees the thing she's only.
So as we get into the second verse, we pick up the tempo a little bit, and we also increase the feeling of hope. Our chicken is going to escape her captivity.
Dreamed of, just up ahead, gophers run through a meadow. Dear graves, birds sing.
I keep loving that minor 6. And I also feel like forgetting what I was about to say. So musically, in the second verse, not much is different, but because of the change in tempo, the increase in tempo we get, and he's singing with a little bit more, not really intensity, but drive, it adds to it makes it feel like more faster paced, even though we're not really changing much musically. We just get like a bigger, brighter section of the song.
Her future is waiting right there for the taking. There's just one thing. The chicken must first cross.
Okay. Something like that. We do the same thing as before. Where we don't resolve quite yet, the chicken must first cross the road.
One thing. The chicken must first cross the road.
Oh. Excuse me. Let me find the notes here.
Cross the.
So We get this A again, this 4, resolving down to a 3. And we hang on a 5. The road. So it's open from the root. So it's still absolutely not resolute. And while we have that going, what is this chord he plays up here on the piano?
Must first cross the road.
Minor. That's a suspension. My keyboard is to my right. It's kind of awkward to play. And is it this?
The road. The.
So he has an E in the right hand. Up here, down here. It could just be an open interval.
The road. The.
Okay, so I don't know, but the fact that we drop the bass completely out of the melody when we hit the road leaves such a feeling of what's gonna happen next. And I think that's, well, obviously that's an interesting approach to take for the song, but using that higher chord up there with no bass adds so much, like, yeah, that's such a sense of, like, hanging over the edge of a cliff, like what's about to happen. That is something else. Does he write these songs himself, or does somebody write them for him? Like, I'm wondering, did he write this song himself? Because if he did, I might start watching his content. It's really smart.
First cross the road. The road.
Icing on the cake. The road. That road. That minor 6 again.
The road. A sea of trees.
Okay, so what we get here is we get the road, not resolving. And then we resolve it to the minor through the minor 6. Ooh, it's so good. Use of the minor 6 there to resolve us to the minor, which is not what we wanted, but sometimes it's just how it is.
The road. The road. A sea of trees and green and moss waiting just across the.
So we change the melody here. This is kind of like a bridge section, I guess.
The road. A sea of trees and green and moss.
So we're kind of clinging to the minor here.
Waiting just across the road.
Roll. It's pretty fast motion up there.
Road.
He really loves that minor 6. It adds like a hint of sadness to a song. I found, like, almost longing. I used it a lot when I wrote my 9th Symphony, my Ramayana composition. Because I feel like it just adds a certain tang, a certain zest to a song. So I love his use of it here.
A life of brighter days.
Up to an E. Oh, alive. No warm up. That's kind of high for me at the moment. Alive. You see, I don't have my vocal range doesn't go very high without properly warming up. That's E4 up there.
A life of brighter days.
Resolving to an A again. And the thing about resolving to an A is that it's not a proper resolution. So I really like the implementing of that.
A width of road away. The road is gigantic, the chicken is little.
You were doing really good. The road is gigantic, the chicken. You should have held that out.
It's gigantic, the chicken is little.
Yeah. But like I mentioned before, the use of those more open chords up in the high register of the piano with no bass, it creates a sense of like standing on a precipice, like hanging off the edge of a cliff. Um, so it's used really well. The piano arrangement here is just stellar. But yeah, chorally, you don't really want to separate the syllables of a word like that.
It's gigantic, the chicken is little. She moves ahead, left, right, left, right, left, right. All of a sudden she stops in the middle,
No.
frozen in place.
So is this? I'm guessing the song is like a response to "Why did the chicken cross the road?" Is kind of what I'm gathering from that. I don't know of any other context it would have been written in, because we're talking about a chicken getting ready to cross the road is like saying why, an interpretation of why. I don't know. I feel like that's a concept you can't really take seriously, but he's adding he's trying to add like more depths of, or more layers of depth to it.
She stops in the middle, frozen in place by a pair of headlights. It's anyone's guess what then happened next, but
It's anyone's guess what then happened next, but my favorite thing about that, in that eighth note pattern, you have two notes that are held, and he made those notes rhyme. Um, I don't know if he's done that throughout the entire piece. I didn't really notice, but it was really clear they're rhyming what with what. Very nice.
guess what then happened next, but most things.
I also feel like he should have connected those lines though. Anyone's guess what then happened next, but like I don't think you need to breathe that much. The more connected phrases are, the better it's gonna sound, or the more resolute, the more satisfying it's gonna sound to the ear.
Think she died, but I think we ought to believe that she got to the other side.
Oh, jeez. Why is that the one line of the song that we resolved down to the minor on? Because before we were using these gross notes to resolve. But it's again that like sense of like longing and loneliness that you hear just in those soft upper chords on the piano.
She died, but I think we ought to believe that she got to the other side.
A separation of words there is a little bit less jarring because we have the piano fill. Whatever goes on there. The side. So it's a little bit less jarring there, but still not favorable.
So that's why she did it.
Ooh. That's why up to that A. Ooh. And we end on a minor chord, which is like So adding that A to that minor chord, it's really gross. Is it a minor chord or is it a minor dominant? Yeah, so that's a. I guess if we're thinking major, it would be a sixth chord, or maybe a 4+7. Who knows? Oh, jeez. That's some really good songwriting. I didn't expect that going in. Um, could be a little more connected with the syllables. That's my gripe listening to this. But dang, okay, it's not what I expected. Um, some really good songwriting, some really good piano writing. I don't know if that's him or if it's somebody writing it for him. Also, a really good voice that I didn't expect. A little bit of nasality, but like it has such a good and unique tone. I could definitely see him having a good voice for a lot of things. Um, I want to hear him do more singing. So I will probably look into more of his content. I can it's from an album Inside. I'll go listen to the album maybe. This was really good. I didn't expect it. But cool. That's all I have for you guys for this video. Go subscribe to Bo Burnham and I will see you in the next one.